Welcome to Home with Justin. Picture a sunlit pergola perched above the sea, where climbing vines drape like celebration ribbons, and a cozy seating nook invites conversation. That image sets the scene for a practical, inspiring gardening and landscape design walkthrough that feels both attainable and beautiful. Together we will explore how to shape a small outdoor room. Choose plants for structure and color, plan seasonal care, and add design touches that make a space feel like a personal oasis. Begin by seeing the space as an outdoor room. The arches act like windows, framing the water beyond and making the patio feel sheltered yet open. Think in terms of scale and enclosure. Low built-in benches anchor the floor plane, while tall pots and climbing plants define vertical surfaces. That balance between horizontal seating and vertical greenery creates intimacy without closing off the view. Encourage the viewer to measure existing features and imagine where seating, planters, and plantings will sit relative to sightlines. What should remain unobstructed and what should draw the eye? Turn attention to structure and plant selection. For a terrace like this, mix sturdy architectural plants with softer, flowering vines and seasonal accents. Choose a backbone of evergreen shrubs or compact Mediterranean shrubs that tolerate sun, wind, and salt spray if near the ocean. Layer in vigorous climbing vines, bougainvillea, jasmine, or clematis depending on climate, to create canopy and color over time. Add container plants with repeated motifs to anchor the corners and balance the composition on both sides of the arch. Explain choosing plants for form, foliage, and bloom times so the space has year-round interest. evergreen texture for winter structure, spring bulbs and early shrubs for fresh color, summer climbers at full flourish, and late-season perennials for lasting drama. Discuss containers and hardscape as design partners. Terracotta pots and rustic wooden elements harmonize with the white plaster and coastal palette seen here, but the principle is to match materials to the style of the house and climate. Recommend choosing containers that are proportionate to seating and arch sizes. Larger pots for statement plants and smaller pots clustered for layered effect. Emphasize drainage. Use pots with drainage holes, a high-quality potting mix, and a top dressing of small stones or decorative mulch to slow evaporation. For the floor, suggest durable, non-slip surfaces and a washable rug for comfort and color. Point out how furniture cushions and textiles can echo plant colors to knit the design together. Move into composition and color strategy. Describe using a restrained palette, 2 dominant colors plus an accent, to create cohesion. In this seascape setting, warm coral and blush tones pair beautifully with cool blue vistas. Neutral cushions keep the look calm while pops of pink and orange and blooms create energy. Encourage repeating color and form across multiple containers to establish rhythm. Use foliage contrast, glossy dark green leaves against silver gray foliage or feathery textures, to add depth. Suggest odd number groupings, 3 pots clustered on one side, 5 on another, or repeating a plant in threes across the bench ledge to create a natural, pleasing arrangement. Offer simple, actionable planting steps. Start with a sketch of the layout. Mark existing fixed elements, decide where the main planters will sit, and leave clear sightlines to the view. Prepare containers with well-draining potting mix and a slow-release fertilizer to support growth. Consider the root depth and mature size of each plant to avoid overcrowding. Place structural plants first, then fill in with seasonal flowering pots and trailing plants to soften edges. Water thoroughly after planting and monitor moisture levels closely for the first season while roots establish. Share a sustainable maintenance routine that keeps the space effortless. Propose a weekly check for water needs, with deeper, less frequent watering to encourage resilient roots. Recommend pruning climbs after flowering to maintain shape and encourage new blooms. Deadhead container annuals to extend color, and refresh topsoil or replace seasonal pots twice a year for vigor. Highlight the value of mulching large containers and beds to conserve moisture, and using a slow-release feed to reduce frequent fertilizer applications. For coastal or windy sites, advise anchoring tall pots and choosing low-profile plants that won't topple in gusts. Give practical tips for maximizing limited space and budget. Use vertical surfaces aggressively. Install a simple trellis or wire supports for climbers to free up floor area. Opt for multi-stem shrubs or multi-season container combinations that look fuller faster. Start with smaller, less expensive plants and plan expansions through divisions and cuttings. Many climbers and shrubs transplant well and can fill the garden without a large upfront spend. Encourage trading cuttings with neighbors or sourcing dormant season bargains to stretch the budget. Address common problems and quick fixes. If a climber becomes too leggy, show how to rejuvenate it with selective pruning, removing older wood and encouraging new basal growth. For containers that dry out quickly, suggest switching to water-retentive mixes. Adding water crystals sparingly, or grouping pots together to create a microclimate that holds humidity. If pests are spotted, recommend first trying hand-picking or strong water sprays and introducing beneficial insects before resorting to chemicals. If salt spray is an issue, choose salt-tolerant species and rinse coastal-facing foliage occasionally. Introduce sensory and lifestyle enhancements that make the space livable. Suggest adding soft lighting, string lights tucked into vines, low-wattage lanterns on the table, or solar path lights to extend use into evening. Propose aromatic plants like rosemary, lavender, or lemon verbena in pots near seating to release scent as people move through the space. Recommend comfortable, weather-resistant cushions and throws in fabrics that coordinate with flower colors for a cohesive, inviting look. Add a small side table for drinks, and a tray on the coffee table for seasonal decor that can be changed quickly. Encourage seasonal planning so the terrace always feels fresh. For spring, set out early bulbs and citrus-scented annuals. For summer, let climbing bougainvillea or jasmine soar. In autumn, switch to textured grasses, late-blooming perennials, and warm-toned pots. In winter, bring out evergreens and structural urns with interesting twig or berry arrangements. Keep a simple planting calendar. One line listing what to do each month to remove overwhelm and maintain momentum.